Okay guys, today I've got a Range Rover in the shop. We've done a full body wrap on this car probably 3 months ago, 4 months ago. It sustained a little damage to the door from a door swinging into it, and we removed it, revealing no paint damage underneath. But what I wanted to go over with you today was debris management. So on a car like this, it's got a few miles on it now, it's been down the road, seen some rainstorms, dust, whatever debris collects underneath these pieces of trim here. So what I'm going to do is show you how we manage the debris, how we try to eliminate it. Typically, and I'm doing this for this video, but typically I remove these here. The ones that are in the back, like on the back window, you can't remove those. So this is something that we really do for those back windows. But I'm going to leave this piece of trim on here, and we're going to install this film, and I'll show you what we do to clean it and how we install it, and then how we trim it if we're going to leave a piece like this on and we don't want to run the risk of opening up to tuck it and further flushing out more debris. So stick around. Okay, so the tools we're going to be working with, number one will be these sticks here, and these are two different brands. This one is a Geek Wraps stick. I don't know if that'll focus in on that or not, but Geek Wraps, and then this one is a wrap stick from Yellow Tools. The Geek Wraps is from Geek Wraps. This wrap stick is from Yellow Tools, and so we're going to use these to wedge this trim. Next up would be some good compressed air. And your solution. My solution is pressurized to 100 psi. I have a 3-gallon tank behind me, and then this is set at about 100 psi as well. So we're going to wedge these and then shoot our solution and our compressed air at the same time, flushing out all this garbage that's in here. First off, we're going to take our stick and get our sticks underneath here and get a little gap going between there. So I've got that one going. I'm going to slide this one down here. Get a gap going there, and then we'll get a gap going down here. So now I've got a little bit of a gap to work with. We're going to take our solution and we'll create a jet, and I can already see little bits of stuff coming out. And while you're doing this now, you can hit your compressed air. It's kind of like being at the dentist's office. Shooting the compressed air in there, along with your solution. Really rinsing this stuff away. Okay, so now while the trim that you're going to lay next to is still positioned up with your sticks, you want to try to completely dry this out as much as possible with your compressed air. So no more solution, we're just going to use straight compressed air and try to dry this out underneath here as much as possible. Okay, so now we have our panel cleaned and ready to go. We want to take a squeegee and lightly squeegee this and squeegee off the moisture. And as you're doing it, you want to add a little bit to it. And what this does, this is ensuring that we didn't leave any dust behind right before the installation. So we're going to squeegee this all down like so, and then put a light dusting of solution on here, just like that. Nothing heavy. We're going to grab our film. Film's right over there. Be right back. We're going to set this on here like so. And because this door is not straight across, it maybe looks straight across, but it's not. If you line the film up, it kind of bows and goes up or down or whatever. We're going to set the film just above here so we can cut it when we get done with this. So as you can see, it's still moving around. I'm just squeegeeing it so it doesn't slide down on me. The biggest thing that I see guys do is they pull this film back like so and spray the panel, and they start spraying and spraying and spraying. You don't want to do that. If you have to pull the film back to get slipped, you want to pull it back and you want to spray your film. Don't spray your panel. You don't want to just flood this panel. You want to flood the film and then lay it back on there and squeegee it. When you're ready to do your alcohol, your tack, then you can pull your film back and spray your tack along here like so. Lay your film back up and then make sure you have slip on top of your film, and then come back and squeegee this up, locking it in right to the edge. You want to get it locked in. You don't want to just get it up there and then have it be loose. Debris will eventually float out and collect in your film there, and then you have to pull it. So we want to get it locked up in there like so. I'm going to grab a fresh bottle of alcohol. So we've got this locked down here. We can pull the rest of this back now, and we're just going to spray our film, not our panel, and spray our film with our tack solution. And when you get into tight areas, don't be too aggressive with the sprayer. Put our slip up here, and now we can come back and we can feed this film right into this gasket here, like so. Don't leave an air gap in there either. You want it to sit right in there nice and tight. You leave a little air gap, then you're going to have debris that can still float down right into that very edge of it. We need a little more tack solution over here. And you see I've got that in there so tight this film wants to fold down like in half like a piece of paper. Now in this situation here, before you move on, you want to grab a fresh towel and wipe this down and scan it and look for any debris that could have come out of there. So we've got a fresh towel here. We're looking for any specks of debris, moisture, you name it. So I look at an angle to make sure that if there's, sometimes you get a piece of sand and the sand will look clear. So we look and make sure that we don't see anything in the reflection of the film. We've got all of our moisture is worked out. And we're all good. There's a piece of debris here. I think we have a little piece right here. I can't see it dead on, but I'm seeing something in the light reflection here. I'll pull this back. Yeah, there's something there. So I'm going to pull that back a little bit. And I'm going to wet this. Try not to get it too much underneath the seal here. Remove that little piece of debris. And I immediately want to lock it back up. I don't want to let it sit. I want to lock this sucker back up. Now you can do one of two things. You can take and leave this here and install the rest of your film, or you can trim this right away. And if you trim it right away, you take the chance, you take less chance of having this film maybe lift and then a little debris floating underneath it. So if we trim this right now before we move on, we can make sure that this stays sealed up right up to the edge of this gasket. and we don't have to worry about any debris. And if a little debris comes out, it'll float just over the top of the film and stay on top of the film instead of getting underneath your film. So I'm going to grab my knife here, and we're going to trim this. And for this type of cut, I have my blade out just really just a tiny bit. You'll see here it's just ever so slightly out, and I'm going to take it and I'm going to sink the blade before the panel and then run it into the panel in between this trim and the actual door itself. My blade is only touching the film because it's only out just a hair. So I'm cutting this film. The knife is actually riding on top of the film between the gasket and the door. We've got a nice cut there. And when you're pulling film, after you've cut it, you always want to pull away from the area that you're covering. If you start pulling it down this way and you didn't get a good cut, you run the risk of tearing into your film. That's if you're bulk installing. So we're pulling the film up. We've got a great cut. It's cut right into the edge of that. It's going to look beautiful. So we've got that done. We're going to grab, it's called a hard card. And if you have a really sharp squeegee, you can use a really sharp squeegee. But this hard card works really well. I'm going to take this hard card and I'm going to run it right to the edge of the film, running it right underneath, making sure that my film is good and locked down along here, all the way across. And as I'm doing this, moisture is coming out. All right, so we've got that. Another thing you can do is take your hard card and put your towel on it and run that on there. And as you can see, it's soaking up that moisture. So do a little bit, move your towel. Do a little bit more, move your towel, and soak up that moisture that's along that edge. Move my towel again here. And we're good. Visually, you can't see the edge. Physically, you can't see the edge right there. So right there, we're all good. Now we can move on to installing the rest of the door. So let me do that, and then we'll come back and we'll set the camera up so you can look at this panel. So the end result on this turned out great. You can't tell the difference between the rear door, which we didn't remove the upper trim, and the installation on the front door where we did remove the trim. We did remove the door handle off of this one. I just can't bring myself to piecing stuff in there or cutting around the door pocket there, or leaving a seam inside the door pocket. So, but those remove really easily. So, we've got the film on, we've got our edges tucked and wrapped, matches the front door. I'm going to call the customer and tell him his car's ready to go. Thanks for watching. If you got some value out of this, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and check back often for new videos. Thanks for watching.